Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Welcome to MBA Unfiltered. My name is Akash Shinde. In this video, we are going to have a candid conversation with Apoorva Chandwani, who has done with his SRCC interview. Being a person who has cracked SRCC GBO 2 times, I know what kind of question that we asked to you. But before that, we'll ask him regarding his experience. Apoorva, welcome back to our channel. How are you?
Thank you, sir.
So Apoorva,
Very
so, Ap-
fortunate to meet you again after the interview.
so Apoorva, can you let us know about your profile, 10th, 12th, UG, WorkX?
All right. So I am basically from Khandwa. It is in MP near Indore. I have done my schooling from there only from St. Joseph Convent School. In 10th, I was getting 89%, and in 12th, I got 88%. And in graduation, I have 75% or 7.5 CGPA. I have done BBA in my graduation. So I am from a non-tech background. You may say a commerce background.
So Apoorva, what's the motto of doing an MBA for you?
So means after my graduation, since I belong to a Sindhi community, so my basic focus was to do a business. But coming from that particular type of domain, I thought that business is not something like you directly go and you can do. You need much more information, something a theoretical knowledge, also some college exposure. So that's why I decided to pursue for MBA and with the industrial exposure. So I find SRC GBO one of the greater industrial exposure colleges. That's why I went for it.
That's quite interesting. So Apoorva, let's move to the interview experience of SRCs. Right? Could you let us know
Yes, sir.
how many panelists were there? What was the duration of the interview and what kind of question that we asked to you?
Correct. So basically, there were three panelists. Two were male and one was female. And the duration of the interview, maybe you can estimate around 8 to 10 minutes hardly, because we come to know that day before the day before on 6th, there were interviews which were of 20 minutes and which disturbed the whole interview process because make the lengthy all the process more lengthy. So this time they were making the interviews similar, like shorter, so that all the candidates can be done easily and in the shift of the day.
Okay. Okay. So Apoorva, can you let us know what kind of specific question that we asked to you and what was your response to these questions?
So it was start with the GDP. In GD, we are given a topic known as automation. Automation, you may all know that automation is needed or not. That was basically a topic in GD. And post to that, we were 13 people in our GD, and we all given our points, or you say analysis of that automation. Post to that, my means my batch number was 6. I was called at the sixth interview, and my interview was pretty smooth because they asked me about the question like, tell me about yourself, my background, and all this type of question.
Okay. So Apoorva, since you are given the interview, you also know there are a lot of people who are also appearing for SSC. So can you let us know what was your GD topic
Yes, sir.
and what kind of question that we asked to other people?
So as I previously mentioned, there were different types of GD topics, and we have to select. There were actually a bowl, and there were cheats. We have to select one cheat, and our when our one of the candidates selected cheat, the topic was, is automation is needed in India's economy or not? So everyone presented their point, maybe in a positive way. Some were negative against the point too, that there should not be automation too much. That, and some were that it can be a creation or more technical development. All presented their point. Posted it, I was called for my interview where I was asked about my, you may say, tell me about yourself was one of the first questions. And they asked me about my family. They also asked me about my percentile, how much percentile I got in CAT, why aren't you want to go to SRC GBO, why not any other tier 1 colleges, because you may have good options after next year since you have scored well in CAT. So that were all types of questions they were asking me, and also some of the basic questions from my domain, such as marketing and finance. They also asked me about 7 P's, cost of capital, and one of the, you may say, a scenario question, such as you may debate that, means I feel that one of the basic difficult question, or maybe a practical approach question, it could be that difference between needs, want, and desire, and in a practical scenario. not as a major definition wise, in a practical scenario that how can we needs, what are the different types of needs. So this type of questions are basically asked from me.
That's quite
And
interesting, Apurva. Yeah. What
some of the
about the
current
current
affairs too,
affairs?
because we are since we are in a state of this whole our economy somewhat disturbed due to the war. So that type of question only. What about your thinking regarding war? You know Indus Water Treaty, and I told him about that India is supplying water to Pakistan, and now due to some of the parliament it will be stopped, and all this type of things I was told. And one of the questions that I was not answerable, that how many rivers are Indus. So basically, I know there are 6 to 7 main rivers, but actually there can be exact vast number of ideas, because the, if you go on the small level, the rivers are numerous. So you cannot give the exact number. So I told them that I cannot do the exact number, since I will be get done by the end of the day in that topic.
Yeah. Apurva, last question from my side. What's your piece of advice to the people who are aspiring
Yes,
and
sir.
wanting to get into SRC GBO next year? How they should prepare for the interviews? And what's the last advice from your side to these people?
So basically, it is one of the exam based first of the scenario. If you clear the exam with a good percent or good marks, you are basically on the heavier side as compared to other people, because as you come to know, the 75% weightage of the exam, but 25% still makes the interview or means a GD, because you need at least some preparation. If you think that it is quite smooth or you will get selected, I don't think it's easier, because I have some other colleges too in my waitlist. Since I cleared Snap, I cleared CAT, I got some colleges, but I do not prepare for that interview, that I thought that it will be much smoother. But when the waitlist of all the colleges are coming, I know that I have somewhere, due to my interview preparation, I was lacking somewhere. Maybe my confidence was not at the par, since every interview was different. But for this interview, I was somewhere prepared that what can be the possible types of questions. So I was on the somewhere confidence side or confident side, and means I was at present that I can give my best at this interview, and hopefully I will get.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Apurva, for sharing the nuances. I hope this interview will definitely reaches to mass. And I hope you will
Thank you.
definitely convert SRC GBO, and we wanted to see you in the campus itself.
Thank you, sir.